Hey guys, welcome back to my virtual dog training playlist. And here we are on episode 11. I gotta use more than two hands now. This was a pretty cool virtual consult. It was a client of mine recently adopted a puppy, and we were just talking through some issues. And I also had the opportunity to use one of my dogs to demonstrate how to teach her dog to down. And if you like this video, don't forget, give me a thumbs up. It helps me out with this whole YouTube algorithm thing. And don't forget to check out my other 10 virtual dog training consults. There's a lot of good content in there. Real life examples of consults with clients. Okay, so first, how long has she been with you?
3 weeks today.
Gotcha. Okay, so from the time she arrived, just give me a quick recap, day one up to now.
Well, actually, when we just got her, she was really good. It was, what was it, 4th of July. We were at our neighbor's big party. They said we had to leave, come back with her, and they said, oh, come back over. So they had their big family, tons of children. She was perfect. Perfect. She loved all the people. She loves children. There's no problem. For the most part, she is a really, really good girl. She really hasn't given us any trouble. She sleeps in her crate at night, no problem.
Good.
We thought for the first few days she'd whine and nothing. She was perfect. So when we first got her, take on our lead, she hadn't the faintest idea what to do walking with a lead. The first week was it was a big struggle taking her for walks. We take her at least 3 times a day. The second week she was a little better, but she gets distracted very easy. We have a lot of land around here. The houses have a lot of land. This year we're like inundated with rabbits. They're just everywhere and they're driving her crazy. And we live around a lot of farmland. So she gets distracted by that. A lot of times we come home, our arms were hurting because she was pulling. We did have to get her a new harness. I guess they call it like a walking harness, where you can clip it on the front and then clip it on the back later. I use the front, that way I can pull her. But she likes to pull. She's kind of getting it this week, how to walk. The first thing in the morning, about 6 o'clock, myself or my husband take her out. She does great first thing in the morning. She's doing better, but she likes to get that pulling action.
So is the new harness working or not really?
Yeah, no, it's working. The old
Okay.
harness she ripped right out of.
Okay.
We had to get rid of it.
Okay. So as it stands now, walking on the no pull harness are the walks manageable, or is she just literally walking better?
Both. They're both. Sometimes it's manageable. Sometimes you really have to yank on her. Sometimes you really need the muscles in your arms.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So, all right. So walking is an issue. Okay. All right. And then how about just around the house? How does she listen to you guys just in the course of your, average day?
She pretty much listens. She's pretty much got her name down now. She knows, like, going upstairs, she will not go upstairs, which we started right from the beginning. We'd put a gate up on the stairs. So when we go upstairs now, she just waits at the bottom of the stairs or just goes lay down. We've had a few problems. She'll go on the other side of the house, which we didn't really not let her go. And when she kind of sneaks in there, and she'll either go, she hasn't this past week, but she'll either pee or she'll poop. We're always taking her out so she can go to the bathroom, but I don't think she's got down pat yet. When I need to go to the bathroom, I need to go to the door or let someone know I need to go.
So this peeing and pooping only happens when you go upstairs?
No, we're sitting watching TV or something.
Okay.
We're in the kitchen or the family room, and she'll all of a sudden, it's like, where's the dog? She gets really quiet. And then we find her in the other room, and yeah,
Gotcha.
then we got to pick up. But when we take her out on the walks, she does her business. We take her out in the backyard sometimes. She'll pee out in the back. She will not poo in her yard at all. And
But she'll poop on the walk.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we'd like to, with the winters coming, and we get snow up here. We'd like to, let her go out in the yard and go out there, because a lot of times the sidewalks or the streets aren't plowed yet.
Right. And then you have the rock salt and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and would like to be able to let her out in the backyard and call her, and she'll come.
Okay. And you have a fenced yard?
It's partially fenced, but the part that isn't, it's very dense shrubbery and vegetation, and a lot of it is the picker bushes that if you or I tried to walk through, you wouldn't have any skin left.
Yeah, they'd shred you right open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And our other dogs, we'd just let them out. They'd sniff around, do what they had to. We'd call them, and they'd come back in.
Okay. All right. So let's hold off obedience and recall for the end of the call, because I'd prefer to leave you off with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go backwards in the list you just gave me so we could touch on everything. I was keeping notes.
I saw you.
I was paying attention, but I got to write it down, otherwise I forget.
I know.
Luckily, these things are recorded, so we don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, first and foremost, partially fenced. Obviously, she's a new dog.
Yeah.
And so you can't compare her to your old dogs, right?
I know. I understand. Yeah, we did get a 15-foot lead.
Good.
Which I'm thinking of getting another 15-foot to add on to that, so she has a 30-foot radius.
And I mean, she's a thick-coated dog, which is irrelevant. My concern with that space in the yard, that's not stopping a rabbit from going through that spot.
Oh no.
So with her prey drive, if a rabbit is presented, those bushes aren't stopping her, right?
Exactly. That's
right.
That's our major concern.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that, and that'll kind of fall in line with obedience and stuff later. But so obviously maintain close supervision in the yard for now. It's still pretty new. It's only a few weeks, and
that's what we do.
Yeah, long lines would certainly help. The fact that she's not pooping in the yard, it's not uncommon. I've seen it both ways. Dogs that will only poop in their yard but won't poop on a walk, and will only poop on a walk and not in the yard, which is funny because she's crapping in the house. So you would think
I know you would think, okay, well, you don't mind pooping in your own yard, but apparently she does.
So let's not overanalyze it. Let's kind of isolate it to she's pooping when she's leashed and walking.
Yeah.
And she's not pooping when she's not leashed and walking. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So what we could do is you probably have an idea of what her eating schedule is, the times of day that she normally poops, right? By now?
Oh yeah. So we are doing that.
Okay. So if you're taking her for her midday poop walk, start in the yard on her regular leash, like you would normally take her for a walk, but go in your yard and walk around the perimeter of the yard as if you're walking her, to see if that can't make her feel a little more comfortable pooping.
Okay.
Again, just to transition from only pooping on the walks to pooping in the yard.
Yeah.
And this is where having a good understanding of her schedule, like, when you take her for her poop walk, she might sniff for the first quarter mile and then poop, or she might poop right away and then walk, whatever the case may be. Use that time barometer in your head to kind of gauge, just so you're not sitting on the yard for 2 hours waiting for her to take a crap.
Yeah, exactly.
She's got to do her business, right? So it's more of you're kind of testing that theory, so to speak, to gather some information to see if we can't get that to happen. Okay. And again, this may or may not work. We don't know, but it's usually where we start. right? The other way is when they're only pooping in the yard and won't poop on the walk. I'll have people block out 2 hours, go for 2-3 miles until they crap, right? But we have the opposite issue here. So
yeah. Which, I suppose that's okay. I don't have a mess in the yard.
right, yeah, that's
Yeah.
silver lining to everything, right?
Yeah.
So so give that a try. Okay, so the peeing and pooping on the sneak in the house,
Yeah.
this room that she goes to, is this the furthest most room away from her crate and food area?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a good thing in that she is not willing to pee and poop where she eats, sleeps, or congregates on a daily basis. So she
Right.
wants to be away from her primary areas, which is good. So that leads us to, she may not actually be housebroken per se, right?
That's what I'm thinking. She kind of is, but
Right.
not
So
really, because she
yeah,
doesn't realize I need to go outdoors to do this stuff.
right. And dogs don't pee and poop where they eat and sleep. That's why crate training works so well as part of housebreaking.
Mhm.
So obviously restricting access to areas of the house where she's already soiled, it would be helpful. But in reality, you almost got to treat her like she's 8 weeks old, and you need to supervise her.
Yeah.
An unsupervised dog, not in the dog's mind, in our mind, gets into trouble.
Right. Oh yeah. No, she thinks she's having fun. She thinks this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm exploring.
Yeah, and and she's also setting that area up for her bathroom, which you don't want to have happen, right?
No.
For now, you gotta, you have to supervise her, and supervise means you can see her, right? Because it's 3 weeks now. It's not like it's the first couple of days and you need to let her explore the house and get used to the environment. She's used to it. She knows where everything is. She knows your routine by now. Now it's about limiting her freedom, because too much freedom gives her too many opportunities to make decisions on her own, right?
Okay.
So it's possible, which, again, 3 weeks she understands the environment a little bit better, but she's also still getting used to things as you are getting used to her. So she may be signaling that she has to go, and it might be missed if we're not supervising her, or if we're just not used to that subtle shift in her body language. Sometimes it might be a little pant here and there, or a little giddy up in their pace. Very subtle signs that their body needs to eliminate, right?
Yeah.
So because if we pick up on those signals, over the course of time, she's gonna hit the back door or the front door to let you know. Do you go out the front door to walk, I guess?
We do. Yeah,
Okay.
we go out the front door.
And then the back door for the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to shoot to one of those areas over the course of repetition, obviously. But first we have to stop, we got to stop the bleeding, right? So we have to restrict access to that back room and supervise her, so we're more aware of any subtle signals she may be giving us. Right.
Okay.
And it could be, if you block off that back area, that signal might be her hovering around whatever you use to block off that area.
Oh, okay. Thinking, yeah. So that would be our cue to, okay, you need to go out.
Right. So let's say, all right, so you blocked off upstairs, right?
Yep.
Let's say you blocked off upstairs because she was peeing and pooping upstairs, right? And then you put the gate on. Like right now, you said she'll stay down she'll stay at the bottom of the stairs, or she'll just go lay down or something, right?
Yeah, because we started right when we got her. Put the gate up. You can't go up there. That's it.
Right. So let's say if you did that to block off from her peeing and pooping upstairs, if she had to pee or poop, she might hover around that gate, which would be a signal, I got to go upstairs and go to the bathroom. So the same holds true for that back room that we're trying to restrict access to.
Okay.
And that could be a subtle sign. So that hovering around that area, increase in pacing, a little increase in panting, things along those lines. But again, we have to supervise her in order to pick up on these signals. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So that's that. Okay, walking issues. So the no-pull harnesses are good, provided you are utilizing it to your advantage. So if you have a no-pull harness on her, but you're giving her 6 feet of the leash.
Oh, no. I have her walk right next to my right side, right next to my leg. I'm not letting her just wander and pull me around. It's like, I'm taking you for a walk. You're not taking me for a walk.
Perfect. Yeah, we want to avoid zigzagging. We want to avoid her stopping us every 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Well, when she gets a sniffing, she may be little, but she's quite powerful.
Right, yeah. So it is only 3 weeks and you are improving.
Yeah.
So I'm not, normally I recommend other walking aids, but right now, because you're progressing, she is improving. I'm not going to do that right now. If the problem persists, we could revisit that and we can have a separate call just for a new walking tool if need be.
Okay.
But I would say, do you bring treats with you on walks?
I don't. Should I,
Oh,
for when she's really good?
for now, because we want to start giving her rewards for when she's in a good position. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So anytime she's
Yeah.
walking calmly with a loose leash, good girl.
Yeah.
And plus what we want to do too is, again, I say this all the time, and one of the most undervalued commands is sit. Right.
Oh, she's good at that.
Yeah.
She really is good at that.
If we
When we
have
tell her to sit, we put our hand up. Even if I just put my hand up, she'll sit.
right. So when she's pulling or preoccupied on walks, what's her reliability percentage with the sit command?
It's good. If I tell her to stop, usually when she's going crazy, I'll pull on the chain, well, her leash, and tell her stop. She does stop and sit. She will sit.
Okay, so that's where the treats come in handy, because we want that behavior to be super reliable so we don't have to repeat ourselves. And
Okay.
the repetition of stop, good girl, sit, good girl, and give her the treat. So
Okay.
stop is your disconnect command. So it doesn't matter what word you use. People use different words, leave it,
Mm-hmm.
stop, no, whatever. If
Mm-hmm.
stop is your disconnect command, meaning she's starting to focus on something and you need to disconnect her from that.
Yeah.
So stop. As soon as she stops, good girl. She'll look to you,
Yeah.
subtle praise, get her right into a sit, good girl, and give her a little treat. So you don't need to carry a pocket full of hot dogs, just a couple of treats to have handy so you can, for those moments when she's spiking, her stimulation is cropping up, that's where you need to have that ace in the hole, because whatever she's focused on, whether you're using corrections or rewards, they have to be greater than what is preoccupying her.
Right. Yeah. I
right?
see. Yeah.
So you're using both. You're using the correction, which is the stop, right? But then we follow that up with a reward, because we want to have that balance of bad, good.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make
That way
sense?
she'll know. Yeah.
Yep. And then another practice, and I'm going to send you a couple of videos too on some of the stuff we're talking about, specifically having a controlled, deliberate walk in addition to her regular walks.
Yeah.
Where you might just go out front and the house is about an acre apart, I'm guessing it sounds like.
How far are they apart?
And you have sidewalks too?
Not yeah. This sidewalks. They're not an acre apart. They're large lot.
Okay, all right, but you have sidewalks
40,
though, right?
50 feet apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all right, so
Some of them more. It depends.
yeah, no, that's fine. So just so there's space between them, but so
Yeah.
you can have just a little leash walking session where you're walking back and forth, maybe 3 houses one way, 3 houses the other way, and you're walking just for the purpose of stopping every 20 or 30 steps and making her sit. Good girl.
Okay.
Walk 20 or 30 steps, stop, sit. This way you're setting a little session aside just for leash control, because what's going to happen is when she feels whatever's preoccupying her, right now her default is to exhibit stimulated behavior.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that her new default is going to be deferring to you. And that's where the repetition of these exercises will come in handy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the walks too, on her regular walk, you don't have to stop every 20 or 30 steps, but you do want to stop periodically just for the hell of it.
Okay. Just for behave, sit and wait and
just for the purpose
hold
of
on a minute.
Right. Because right now your sit on the walk is not reliable. It's good, but it sounds like there's a little bit of a fight going on too at times.
There is, when we have to stop like that, because she's
right.
There's something going on and she's getting really anxious and I just want to go full force.
Right, exactly. So, and again, the repetition of these exercises will help control that behavior. So
your sit command is more reliable. And it takes time. You're not going to do 5 walks and she's going to have 100% reliability, right?
Well,
but
no.
it will happen if you keep at this and you're consistent. Organically, this will happen over the course of several weeks. You're going to see huge improvement with her focus on you when you give her a verbal cue.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what we want.
Yeah. And then again, if the walking harness kind of outlives its usefulness, we could always talk about other tools. Because she's some kind of spitz, whether it's Basenji or some other kind of spitz. They could be. I hate using human words when describing dogs, but they can be stubborn as hell sometimes.
Oh yeah. She is. When she gets something in her mind, she's so focused. It's like, holy crap. That's why sometimes we come home, we need to stop building muscle. We don't even need weights. She's our muscle builder here.
Right.
God, we're gonna have biceps on us.
Yeah, but she is food motivated, right?
I will say this about she's very affectionate.
What was that?
She's super affectionate.
Super affectionate.
She's very affectionate.
Good,
yeah.
good, excellent. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And one thing you can do on the walks too is you can have separate treats that you just use for walks, right? Because remember we talked about higher value food rewards that have to be in excess of whatever preoccupies her, or they have to exceed that interest, right? So you might want to have like some special jerky or little chopped up hot dogs just for walks.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All
So
right.
there's a contrast between her every day. Here's a little yummy for in the house versus, hey, we're working, but when you work, this is what you get.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I didn't think of the little cut up the little hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, just get 100% beef, low sodium. They're perfectly fine for treats. And they're super high value, obviously.
Oh yeah, she's gonna like that.
Yeah,
but she's funny. I have dropped like a piece of fruit or a carrot or a vegetable. She's not interested in that at all.
Yeah, she's
so
a carnivore.
I'll try to give it to her. She kind of spits it out. I don't want that.
Yeah, she wants meat.
Tasty enough. Yeah. She wants meat.
Yeah. Okay, and it's good that she's sleeping in the crate. So are you? I know we got this whole virus thing going on. I don't know where you guys are at. Are you guys leaving the house at all, or have you left the house without her?
We have without her, but we do put her in the crate when we go out to the store or we're going to be gone for a bit. She's no problem in that. And we have a couple weekends ago, we took a trip up to Maine coast, and we took her with us. She has no problem being in the car. She loves being in the car. We took her up there on the coast, and she had a good time.
Okay. So, all right. So it's good that you're utilizing the crate. One thing I want you to add to her life is to use the crate when you're home randomly.
Oh, just put her in there and shut the door?
Just put a treat in there, make it positive, or maybe give her like a cow ear or a bully stick. So there's like a little chewing session in the crate. The reason being, we don't want the crate to be associated with separation from you. It's just part of her life.
Okay.
Right. So, and again, it sounds like she's crating well, which is perfect. So we don't have to worry about any of that stuff, but just proactively, just randomly put her in there. Matter of fact, come on, good girl, get in there, good job. And just go about, maybe you're going to, I don't know if you guys are going to eat dinner or cook or clean or something. That would be a good time. This way you're in motion around the house. You're not paying attention to her. You're doing your thing. She's in the crate because that's just part of her schedule. Right.
Okay. And if she, now sometimes because I work during the day, my husband's home. He has tried to get her in the crate, and sometimes she refuses. But he gets her in there. So should we just put a treat in there at first, or wait till she goes in, then give her the treat?
Okay, so if she's not going in the crate reliably right now, food lures are the best way to do it, just to continue a positive association with the crate. So if you got to toss a treat in there, that's fine.
Okay.
And you toss a treat in there until you don't need to toss the treat in there.
Okay.
Then the progression to that is she goes in first, then gets the treat. But for now, toss the treat in that she follows in. Yeah. And then, you could assign a specific word. I just say get in.
That's what we've been saying. In.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
use
and-
crate, they use place, they use kennel up. I just say get in. It doesn't. You could call it banana. It doesn't matter what you call it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The repetition of the word and the behavior and pairing that with the food reward is going to create a reliable crate behavior.
Okay,
So,
yeah. Because at night, if we go to bed, it's funny. She knows she sleeps in a crate at night. So if we go to bed later than normal, she'll be looking at us like, when are you going to go to bed? I want to go to bed. She keeps looking at us and looking at her crate, and it's like, hey. So at that point, it's like, come on in.
yeah.
And she goes, and she's happy. And
that's remarkable after only 3 weeks that she's already it's bedtime.
Yeah, I thought it was the funniest thing. It's
Yeah.
like one night I don't know, it was about 10 o'clock, and she's looking around. She's walking. She goes in a crate. She lays down. She looks at us like, well. Then she laid there for a little bit, and she got up, and she comes out. It's like, what are you doing?
That's cute. All right. So yeah, so that's that with the crate. You know, and especially if your husband's having a little more difficulty with it, we want to make sure, because if we have to shove her in there, or maybe we get frustrated with it, that's not a positive association with the crate.
No, I don't want her to think that this is a bad place to be. Then it's a fight all the time.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So so always positive right now. Treat first until you don't need to. Then she goes in, she sits, then gets the treat. That's the progression.
Good.
Right? And there's you can't overuse treats.
Yeah.
Like, as far as
once he does get her in, he says he does give her a treat once she gets in there. But
right.
Sometimes it's a little of a push up.
Yeah, we don't want that right now. So let's lure her in for now until we don't need to. And I mean, think about it. How often is she going in the crate? Not that often, right?
No.
Right. So what if she
often.
gets an extra treat or two a day?
It's not gonna kill. Yeah.
Right.
Not gonna make her fat.
Not like we're tossing cheese at her every 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So all right, good. Okay, so obedience and recall. Let's talk about that a little bit. So inside the house, does she come to you 100% of the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time we call her, she does come.
Okay. And so when she's in that back room and you don't know where she is and you call her, she comes?
She does.
Okay.
She does come. Then it's like, we know that she was so quiet. It's like, well, what is going on? And then we go in and it's like, oh.
Okay, but she will come.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and she comes right up to you?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And what do you do when she comes to you?
Just to get petted.
Okay, and you're giving her physical affection?
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent.
Oh, God, if we don't, she'll put a nudger, or she'll put a paw on you and nudge you to,
okay, perfect. Yeah, that's good, because especially when they're physical affection motivated, then we don't have a treat dependency. So that's good. So I don't even have to talk about that because you're already implementing physical rewards, which is perfect. So what you want to do inside the house is to actually have mini sessions every day. And because her recall is spotty outside, right?
Yeah.
We have to recreate what we're doing outside. And you talked about 15-foot leashes and stuff. And we're also talking about introducing a yard walk to try to get her to poop.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to put her on leash in the house.
Okay.
Just for the purpose of having mini obedience sessions with her. Okay.
Okay.
And they're like 2 or 3 minutes long. Nothing crazy. So she knows sit. She comes. Does she lay down on command or not yet?
No, we haven't tried the lay down. Just the sit and.
Okay. All right. So you have sit and come right now. I have one of my dogs up here. I could show you how to start teaching her down.
Okay.
So, but for now, even if it's just, down will be part of it, but sit down, come, right? And you're going to have her, what do you have, a regular 6-foot leash?
Yes.
Okay. That's all you need for inside the house. And you want to have these little mini sessions. Again, 2 minutes. Anything longer than that, she'll get bored. We'll get bored. There's no point in that, right? It's just to create working on the leash, right?
Okay.
Because then we have to bring that, with the transition that outside. And that's where the 15-foot leash will come in, because if she's on a 15-foot leash and you give her the come command and she doesn't come, at least you have control. You can kind of reel her in to the point where she starts coming to you.
Yeah.
And again, this is where when you're outside in distractions, the reward has to be greater than what is distracting her.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
So she knows, oh, I'm going to get this yummy treat when I do what I'm supposed to.
Exactly. And that's where, you know, a couple of hot dogs on a walk, a couple of pieces of hot dog or jerky. It doesn't have to be hot dogs. Could be, you know, some high
Whatever.
value jerky or freeze-dried liver treats. Sometimes there's a higher value reward, something out of the norm, right? So
Yep.
inside, she's going to have her regular old treats, nothing spectacular, because you're going to give her treats, but she's also working for physical affection, right? Outside, we need to increase the rewards in every facet, physical affection. So if she comes to us, we might be a little more gratuitous in our praise. Oh my God, good girl, to make sure that that physical affection reward is higher than the distraction once we get that recall under control. Does that make sense? Okay. So yeah, so you work her inside, then we're going to start working her outside in the yard on that 15-foot leash. Okay. We're going to be working her on walks already, even though we're just using the sit, right? The command really isn't relevant. What's relevant is that she's performing reliably to our verbal cues, right? So
yeah.
And the yard is a different environment than the walks.
Exactly.
Right. And how dogs achieve reliability in obedience and becoming obedient. And there's a difference between a dog that knows obedience and a dog that is obedient. Right. For instance, inside, she is obedient. Yeah. Outside, she is not obedient.
Correct.
She knows the same obedience commands. And that's the difference.
Yeah, but it's you walk out the door and it's kind of like, yeah, I know, but
right. So we need to transfer that her level of being obedient and listening to you inside to outside. And that's why we use the leash. So we have that control, because if you give her the come command and she walks away off leash, she basically made the decision not to listen to you. Right. So we need to make decisions for her until she's making decisions that align with our expectations of her.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So is she over there? Where the hell did she go? Sable? Oh, you're on the other bed. Come here, Mama. So I'm going to take my microphone out. I hurt my back this morning, so I apologize if I'm moving a little slow.
That's okay.
Normally, I'm a little more spry, so if I look like I'm 98 years old, it's because I whacked my back out.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah, so bear with me as I navigate through the pain. So when I'm luring a dog into an obedience command, especially down, right, we're going to put the dog in a sit, and we're going to take the treat, and we're going to go straight to the floor so their nose follows the treat.
Oh, okay.
When their nose hits the floor, we're going to slowly slide the treat out, and that should get them into a down.
Okay.
Now, Sable knows down already, obviously, but at least I'll be able to show you so you'll have a visual for it. Let me get my laptop bag out of the way. Oh, boy. Come here, Mama. Sit. Good girl. So she already knows it, but this is how it would happen. Nice and slow, and then I'm going to slide out.
Okay.
Come here, Mama. Over here. Right there. I know, you know this already. Sit. Good girl. So she knows sit. I say good girl, and then we're going to lure down. Good girl. And as she's down, she's nibbling on the treat right now. I didn't even give her the whole treat. I'm letting her nibble on it.
Okay.
This way we hold that down position a little bit. Otherwise, they pop right up. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now, obviously, this isn't going to be this. It's not going to happen like this for you right away. But do you have tile or hardwood floors in your house?
Both.
Okay. So generally, slippery surfaces help us with this behavior. The flip side of that is some dogs do not like to down on hard surfaces, so you may have to use carpet or a little carpet runner or something.
Okay.
So that's here. Come on, Mom. And when you're teaching her the down, don't even say down initially. Just shape the behavior with the treat lure.
Okay.
Okay. So, and again, I have this little tiny treat here. I'm gonna put it right in front of her nose, slowly to the floor. Then slide it out. Good girl.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, as she gets quicker at this, your next segue in this little exercise is to do what we call puppy push-ups. So as she gets better at it, we're going to do this. Sit, good girl, down. Good girl, sit. Good girl, down. Good girl, sit. Good girl. See how that works?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We call them puppy push-ups.
Oh, okay. But learn the down first, get that under pat before we start going up and down.
Exactly. Now,
Okay.
The thing with let me put this back up. So when you're doing that shaping, and this is the treat I used with her. I just used a half of this that whole time. So when I was luring her, it was in my fingers like this.
Yeah.
So she was kind of nibbling on it as I was luring her, and I let her nibble that when she was in a down, and then ultimately I slid it out and gave her the whole treat when she settled into the down.
When she was down. Okay.
So when you're first doing what we call shaping, when you're shaping that down and doing the luring, don't even use the word. Do not even use down yet. Shape the behavior once, and we're talking, I mean, once you get that first successful front, elbows on the floor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Once you get that first one, everything's going to kind of fall into place. It'll get easier.
Okay.
That's when you're going to start adding the word. Right? Because you could say down, she's not going to know what the hell it means, right? Because we need to shape the behavior first, then we assign a word to it, and then we have the behavior with the treat and the word all paired together, and then she'll get the hang of it. And then once she's down and quicker, then you start doing the puppy push-ups. Sit, good girl, down, good girl, sit, good girl, down, good girl.
Oh, okay.
Always have verbal reward after every command.
All right.
Right? Because remember,
they learn it. Yeah.
I had Sable do puppy push-ups, right? She did what? Basically 6 commands, right? Sit down, sit down, sit down. And she got a little tiny piece of treat that whole time, right? Because we were just luring.
Okay.
And then she got the treat at the end of the sequence. But again, that's your progression to it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were we? Okay. So that's that. And then, remember, any obedience we do inside has to be done outside in distractions, right? Kind of like what we're doing with the recall. We're getting her recall, even though her recall's solid in the house, we're putting her on leash now in the house because that's what we're going to be doing in the yard. So we're actually utilizing her success inside the house, adding a leash to that, and then taking that out in the yard. And in the yard, you have a 15-foot leash. Your first session outside should be on the 6-foot leash. Right?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because remember, she's not going to perform outside if she isn't performing inside. She's not going to perform 15 feet away from you if she can't perform 6 feet away from you.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Sure.
Right? Just think progression. And it always takes a little bit longer for that first level of progression, and then you're home free. Right? So it could take, I don't know, this is an arbitrary figure. I'm not telling you, let's just say it takes 4 days for her to become reliable 6 feet away. Well, it's only going to take a couple of hours to get reliability 15 feet away because that behavior is solidified now.
Oh, okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So anytime you hit a plateau or you feel like you're not making progress, think, okay, did I go a little too fast? Is she a little too far away? Is this a new environment to her? Right? Is there something happening outside of what we were previously successful with? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I have all my boxes checked off. Did you have any other questions or anything?
I don't think so. I think that was basically it, unless she all of a sudden comes up with a new behavior that we don't know of yet.
Well, I got news for you. 3 weeks, that very well could happen. You're still getting to know her.
Exactly.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video consult, and take a peek around my channel. If you like what you see, consider subscribing to my channel. Click that bell so you get notified when I upload new content as well.